curved and colorful expressions radiate around and through more than 2 million square feet in 8 acres of space. The Music City Center is architectural art in itself, but as those who come inside can immediately see, it is also a formidable framework, a gigantic gallery for collective creativity.
This is real art. This is not decorative art. These are museum quality pieces that are housed in a museum that tens of thousands of people a week are going to get to walk through and see. That's extraordinary. It's a museum destination without being a museum destination.
This provides a wonderful showcase for the creative community in and around Nashville.
Rich Boyd can take us back in time through the many phases of design and construction to show us that art was never an afterthought. After 28 years with the Tennessee Arts Commission, Rich retired as executive director. But instead of taking it easy, he took on a big job in a big place as art consultant in the convention center.
The art throughout the building becomes a really branding, marketing tool to intrigue potential conventions, organizations, corporations to come to Nashville.
The lighting is so important to this project.
In July of 2012, an artist from California gets a first look at his canvas of concrete. Bob Zoll is commissioned to turn the 6th Avenue tunnel through Music City Center into a mosaic masterpiece.
I've done other projects this size as far as budget, but this is the largest piece, 15 by 165 feet. Is pretty large, and it's kind of half public art as well as for the music center because it's on a street, the 6th Avenue, that runs right through the building, right? So it's a public art piece as well as the music center piece. So that's quite nice.
But I'm going to add a lot of different textures to the piece.
In a studio several miles to the west, Nashville artist Jamal Sheets spends long days and late nights with an art form known as repoussé, or metal relief.
I can't draw a straight line, but I can hammer one. I can't do it.
He is shaping a creation called 8 Octaves, a representation of the sights and sounds of Nashville and destined for prominent placement along a convention center corridor.
It's not just a convention center, but it's like the crown jewel of contemporary Nashville. After I figured out where it was going and what I had to complement, then it comes to say, okay, well, what do you want it to say? And so for me, it was saying that, one, I love Nashville. And then 2, how can I express that love to other people? And that's a grand tour broken up into four sections: the rhythm, the pulse, the beat, and the measure. And so each one of those kind of tells a story from a grand tour. If I were to sum it up, it'd be welcome.
Oh, man.
A little more than 3 months later, Jamal is ready to see his work put into place in its permanent home.
This is always the scary part, but I've got full confidence, so I'm happy.
8 Octaves is divided into 8 panels.
It's going to look good. That's going to be awesome.
No more awesome than what you've done, Jamal.
But I'm happy to see him up.
And out in the 6th Avenue tunnel, an installation team is putting up the final ceramic tiles on Bob Zoll's Happy Notes with snow scenes, skylines, musical notes, and birds.
Bob's work is very whimsical. It's fun. And since the 6th Avenue location both is a welcoming and a departing point for guests that will be going out to explore the city, we thought this is an area that needs to be fun.
With deadlines met, the art is installed and ready to be appreciated when Music City Center opens its doors and invites the world to come inside.
It's different representations of Nashville and as the artist sees it. So to me, as I look around, it's, as a convention center, we're not just looking at Nashville alone, we're looking at a global sort of scenario.
A dazzling display of free-flowing sculpture called Euphony hangs 120 feet from the ceiling in the East Concourse. It's made with 28 miles of metal materials with more than 1,100 stainless steel ball chains and weighs 3,500 pounds. A ride up or down the escalator provides a view from just about every angle.
You can't see the colors until you sort of get the light flat onto it, but it's quite intricate looking and very enjoyable. I would not have wanted to put that thing up. Can you imagine you know, getting it tangled. I can't even get the cables behind my computer to stay untangled. This thing would be a nightmare.
A mixed media work, Intimacy and Peace, by Fisk University professor Alicia Henry, plays visual tricks on some of the visitors.
From sitting back there, I thought it was just a painting. And even when I got a little closer to it, I still thought it was a painting. Then my dad showed me that it was just little pieces of thread connected to make the pictures.
I think what the artist is trying to say is like, when you put your mind to something, you should do it and not like forget about it like later on.
And having 2 young kids that like art, I think it's something I want to introduce them to how far you can go in being an artist or a painter or whatever your skill is, you can go far with that.
And all this art is not only available to convention goers, but to anyone who wants to see it. And there's no price of admission.
One would think this could be overwhelming because the idea is, I think you want to make it smart, you want to make it intelligent, but at the same time accessible. And that magic has happened. You look at these stunning, some 5-story pieces, 2-story pieces, 3-story pieces, pieces crawling up walls and down escalators and around corners. And it's just a quiet wow factor.